All right, check, check. Peace, everyone. Welcome back. If you are returning, and if you are new here, welcome. I'm grateful to have everybody. I hope you are very well wherever you may be. We are diving directly into Chapter 2 of Synchronous Universe today, and we're going to do some exploration and elaboration and also share the manuscript. So if you're new to the channel, we are reading the book page by page and taking little sections at a time and doing a deeper dive on it, sharing some different perspectives and insights related to the material. These are workbooks that are designed to be a utility and a resource for you, and you can utilize them at your will. They are not to change your mind or get you to believe anything. Actually, it's going to encourage the individual to direct all of their senses inward and develop the magical systems and divine faculties and technologies that are flowing through their body, through the nature of your being right now. So, without further ado, let me get this manuscript pulled up for everybody. Again, get your papyrus and pen or whatever you like to write with to take notes if you desire to take notes. I encourage everybody to take notes. This is available for free here on this playlist, so if you would like to support, the best way just is to subscribe to the channel, share, hit the like button, or share in the comments some of your insights, or just say hey. Share this with somebody that this may be beneficial to. That's the ultimate way to support. And if you would like to support me personally or invest in yourself or both, these books are available in physical paperback form. So the workbooks you can have for yourself at home. You can write in them and add your own notes to them as you expand in the course. Let's pull this manuscript up and get started. Everybody make sure get relaxed. All right. Chapter 2, Subconscious Mind, Internal Darkness Blueprint, Harnessing Power of Imagination and Visualization. I am ecstatic to bring some of this material to you. So this book especially is really getting the juices flowing and really gathering these faculties that are flowing through you right now, the power that's within you, so that we can resource them instantaneously and have a full communion with them. And also reprogramming the subconscious mind, which is a very, very powerful tool to acquire, and especially in this day and age, or just to have an understanding of how programming works in the subconscious or unconscious mind, both individually and collectively, and how to harness and employ these faculties at your will. So, again, let's get into this. For the purpose of this segment, I will begin with a short phrase to stick into the mind as the student continues on. Fear is the greatest enemy of the individual. Infinite love casts out fear and blots out hell. So, psychologically speaking, spiritually speaking, possessing fear in your belief system or fear of things is an obvious limitation and a killer of goals, and can be an absolute detriment in the progress. Sorry, my neighbor started cutting the grass over here. We just got new neighbors, and I'm not used to hearing the lawnmower going behind me. Okay. You have to eliminate fear and master fear. So this is just an energy, just like, one would say discord or evil. So you could put fear in that category. And you have to work on going into the darkness within you and shining that light, just like a flashlight, which illuminates an area and it brings it to your attention or your awareness. And with that awareness, you can get rid of and eliminate fear by bringing yourself to that area of within you, where whatever you're scared of, essentially, in your thoughts or whatever, and expel it, eradicate it from your thought system. So these fears that are programmed through repetition of symbols, repetition of a lot of the movies and music into the imagination of the individual, into the subconscious mind of the collective and the individuals. Continuously reshape and reform themselves in the subconscious. Now, why do I use the flashlight as an analogy? Because the subconscious is, just look at it as like the subterranean layers of you that you must traverse in order to, you must traverse with the light of your spirit, which is your endless creative potential. So essentially, you're harnessing the darkness as a blueprint and employing the faculties of imagination and visualization to reshape the subconscious, and you're doing this consciously with the awareness of having these faculties. All right. So again, if it doesn't click or make sense the first time, I'm going to try and explain this better. That's why I'm trying to elaborate it, and share different perspectives. But also, like, I tried to make this as straightforward as possible too, as far as being digestible, so it doesn't sound mystic. This is esoteric psychology, or just occult psychology and metaphysics concerning the soul power and all the infinite creative essence that you are, and how all this on the outer world is just a reflection of the divine machinations that are flowing in our inner, in the anatomy, in our subtle and physical anatomy, or electromagnetic fields through which all interactions communicate in their subtle bodies. I have to get used to this lawnmower. Excuse me. All right. Here we go. Sorry. It is the fear of hell that has embedded into the subconscious mind of humans, with which brings sickness and dis-ease to many individuals. Much theology of today is an expansion of the histories of the rise and fall of nations, beginning with the ancient civilizations of Vedic Egypt, Babylonia, Assyria, Chaldea, Parthia, Greece, and Rome. All proclaimed themselves the greatest nations of them all, or the chosen people of their gods, including some teachings such as the fear of hell, the fear of death, the fear of facing God, and in Roman papacy today, the Pope reigning as supreme authority and holder of the keys to heaven, the doctrine of the power of the keys, and Judgment Day. Continuation of the manipulation of ancient doctrine and universal law in writing and traditional storytelling over centuries has embedded fear into the collective consciousness or collective unconscious around the world. These entities exist in countless forms in our reality today, repetitively harnessed for their symbolical power and influence in the collective subconscious for both their benevolent and malevolent purposes. This is a great time to pause and take note that this is not determining any particular symbol is good or evil. It is both. This is important for the student to note, as there are snake oil salesmen, some carefully disguised, that can shift the spirit from balance into a polarity trap. This can appeal to the individual as both good or evil. The student acknowledges equilibrium through the heart as the ideal transmutative chakra center. Now, let's reflect on this for a moment, because this is saying a lot. This is how I designed the course. It's packed. We've been programmed by symbols, shapes, and the repetition of them for thousands of years. the any reshaping in the subconscious is going to constitute a pattern break, which is chapter 1 of this book. Please check out Peaks and Valleys, which also is the prerequisite to Synchronous Universe, and it gets into the same concept of implementing different methods for a pattern break to optimize not just your levels of awareness with these faculties and with your subconscious, but also reshape and reprogram to your will, to what you desire. Some of these external influences that have embedded themselves into the human, into the collective unconscious, have now become a part of our spiritual forces and have become confines or limitations in the expansion of our spirit and its boundless creative potential. So these are loops of stagnation that have been created for the spirit to spiral. These are it's entropy in nature, but this force has been harnessed and employed by other entities that are, many of them which are egregores, meaning that their founding fathers or originators are far gone, but yet the entity of which they imagined is still very much alive and in the collective unconscious of many individuals today. So we have to go deep within to change these, to give ourselves a pattern break and change these concepts or these shapes, if you will, that have rendered and embedded themselves so subliminally. This starts before we even have this awareness of facilitating these faculties. And nowadays, if it isn't apparent, this isn't an education. They're not educating people in occult study. I mean, I suppose that's why it's called that. The course of indoctrination was designed very strategically and carefully so that humans did not know how to face death, how to learn to die properly, facing fear of facing God, or what is that? Well, when it's externalized, it's like saying there's the God and the devil, but as metaphysically, you're not taking full responsibility of being the generator, operator, and destroyer, which is just an acronym of God, of your own life experience. So you're not taking full accountability or responsibility for your life experience. That's the fear of facing God. Metaphysically, at least in my determination, I'm not looking at that literally. I'm not that's all. These imaginative figures, these archetypes, deities, have been shaped and reshaped by different civilizations across all time. And this is why, again, to note, okay, let me go back here. Excuse me. Sometimes this Egypt, Babylonia, Assyria, Chaldea, Parthia, Greece, all of them proclaim themselves the greatest nations of them all, or the chosen people of their gods. Okay, so these are just different relationships that were being managed throughout different periods of civilization, each of them orchestrating a connection or synchronicity of the universe or whatever it is that they believe in. They attributed the powers of the forces that existed around them that they were noting, researching, fully experiencing, and many of which were in awe of the power of all of these spiritual forces of nature. And they personified them and drew these mythologies out. They drew the animals in the sky. Okay, so this is the imagination of humans. All right, What is the most powerful faculty? The God in you is your imagination and the ability to harness and employ that to bring equilibrium and not get trapped in these polarity parameters. I see so many, and all it does is add a conflict, and it's just another thing for somebody to attach themselves to. Again, this is the insecurity and instability of not having and knowing thyself. So, again, the keys of the kingdom of heaven are within you. All right? It's a responsibility. To heave means to uplift. Heaven also has the word even in it. So, attributes of balance and uplifting. So, bringing yourself to, once again, the temple of God, your mind. Taking a full accountability and responsibility for that is within. All right. Let's get to the manuscript. Some good notes coming up here, guys. Firstly, the keys to the kingdom of heaven are within you. As we mentioned, heaven is within. It's a temple of the mind of God. God is all, meaning the devil and the good and the bad. That's you. All of that's you to embrace and master. With this awareness, there is no external controlling force keeping one trapped that can negatively affect the mind. Spirit is God and only knows life. Any spirit uncontaminated from demonic possession is willed to live and to love. What am I saying here? Don't get freaked out by these words. This is where people get skitsy because we've been embedded into programming, and some people are on the extreme no God side, atheist side, which atheist just means atheist. You cannot believe in that, but that's your imagination employing a non-belief system. That's all that is. I mean, what I'm saying is get over that and love thy neighbor regardless of if they believe in God. I see a lot of people in fear that are under religion. Because a lot of religion externalizes the deities and the forces and God, but it has nothing to do with nature's forces, the spiritual forces of nature. And nobody talks about the subtle anatomy of any behavior. So again, this becomes very densified and people get caught in polarity traps. I'm sitting and observing this, and I could not care less what people choose to think or believe. But I just see how it literally traps the thinker, okay, the spirit, the thinker, whatever you want to. People start getting caught up with these words, man. Just study etymology and find word origins and find synchronicities and parallels with those on your own research. Stop listening to people tell you what words mean. That's not going to benefit you at all. Just being real. All right. Spirit is God and only knows life. All right. Death is life. Life is death. These are yin and yang. This is black and white. This is good and evil, harmony and discord. All right. It's the same, just opposite sides of the coin. They're the same things. They lie on the same the opposites. So any spirit uncontaminated from demonic possession is willed to live and to love. Now, let's just take this from a simple point of view. A simple example. You're listening to music, 8, 9 years old. You go to your neighbor's house and you guys play basketball together, ride your bike up there, shooting hoops, and your neighbor, you go inside, and your neighbor's older brother, he has, he's in his bedroom playing video games, and he's playing the Grand Theft Auto or something that you haven't played. You're young, and he's got music playing on his old speaker system, big boombox system, and he's playing Youngbloods, I-85. You're 8 or 9 years old, and you're listening to some extremely vulgar and explicit words that no child should be formulating in their imagination. And it just somehow creeps in to the unconscious, and you get curious, just like any boy or girl is extremely curious. That is the imagination. That's the spirit of the child and its innocence, just wanting to learn and absorbing life and experience. All right, we start to get programmed and become densified. That's calcification of the pineal. People lack imaginative employment. They're unable to utilize the faculty of imagination. And these are the divine technologies. These are the real divine technologies that we've been given. And do we utilize them honorably and accountably? With accountability and responsibility. Do we refine these systems? How much time do we spend in communion with these systems just to understand them and develop a relationship with them? This is the opposite. This is why people attach to materials, and then we lose these faculties, because we get so obsessed in humanity with bullshit. Now, I couldn't care less. I'm just noting this as from a neutral point, which is my responsibility to see the polarity trap and never let it have any control of my awareness of who I am. And I'll never give my prana, my life energy, to these stagnating loops of polarity traps. I'm here to encourage you and empower you to do the same thing. This material is what it's designed to do. This is designed to do. Let's continue. Oh, let me finish the story. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my tangent sometimes, but hopefully you enjoy the point. I did not know, that was a real story, by the way. I did not know what I was listening to, the vulgarity of what I was listening to, and honestly, it didn't actually do anything in that time to me, like consciously. But later on, as I got more curious and whatnot, these words came back around into my conscious and filtered back in as I would get, curious. And this is the spiritual programming and embedding that happens before we even recognize any of the stuff we're discussing now. And honestly, we're not taught to learn this way. So unless you keep that curiosity and don't let humanity beat your spirit down to a point where you become so dense that you've either put all your your systems of your technologies to another system outside of you, or you think there's no systems and you're just here breathing some random chemical combination and science is proving everything, and you love your government. You see, everybody has to put their system somewhere other than into themselves, and that's what I'm focused on here. I could not care less about what trap what trap your spirit's in. I'm just here to encourage you to get the fuck out of it. Get yourself out of it. Take that accountability. That's the darkness. The darkness of the subconscious, your traumas, and all this stuff I'm talking about that embeds itself. Everybody is dealing with their own sets of that. All right, of traumas. And that's where the accountability and responsibility really comes in. So hopefully this is resonating with you. And if not, please encourage everybody, reach out to me and don't hesitate. There is no stupid questions. I am all ears and I'm listening and I'm here to help and assist. If you troll though, I'll know, and I probably won't give you much time of day. So don't do that. Let's continue. I don't know. I won't even put that energy out. I've had really awesome comments and people reaching out, and also who has got a copy of these books. I hope that you're enjoying them, and also thank you from my heart. It means the world to have your support. So appreciate it. All right, let's rock. The internal creative process unravels as the self-contemplation of the spirit, which is the light born from the darkness, the subconscious mind, and blueprint of imagination. All right, we're intertwining right here, all right? So reread this and jot down whatever you need to jot down and allow this to develop a deep awareness. And as this intertwines and develops stronger awareness, you're going to have an agency that which you can instantaneously have communion with these faculties. All right. The internal creative process unravels as the self-contemplation of the spirit, which is the light born from the darkness, the subconscious mind, the blueprint of imagination. All right. Within you is the darkness, where all potential can be visualized and manifested, as this is where infinite potential springs outward from. These faculties within are divine powers given to human being, and it is a collective effort of sovereign responsibility to harness and cultivate these faculties to serve and fulfill loving kindness. In parentheses, a higher vibrational purpose. So you're employing the system of your frequencies of thought, your thought forms, into serving a higher purpose for you and for others. Obviously, with full protection of your life force energy, but these relationships, developing communion, strengthens the relationships naturally of these faculties or these divine technologies that are surging through you. This note is critical to the alchemist, the student of all. One can easily see the obstructions and potential destructions any fear can cause to prana. Disguising love in the thought realms, imagination, subconscious, the darkness blueprint, by tricking the individual in the physical field of sensorial influences, experiences, and sensuous impressions. Stimulations, shifting polarities to one side or the other, cause the etheric fields to imbalance, throwing the spirit off of its fluidity, of its flow, of its flow of self-contemplation. Reflecting in the external by our negative energy patterns, poor choices, ill thinking, etc. Just as one can be extremely depressed, one can be overconfident and condescending. This is obvious, ego, living in the ego, just completely oblivious to the higher aspects of the nature of their being. As the action may exhibit the illusion of confidence and strength via vibrational tension and discordance, while the preceding thought originating from within, a dark, neglected area of subconscious impressions triggering uncontrolled outbursts and expanding as expressions of emotion, which is energy in motion, in your thoughts and your actions. Definitely check that page back. Oh, okay. This is a good pause point. So here's chapter 2. Here's a sneak peek to anybody who's still around. Yeah, we're getting into it, everybody. So I really hope that you're enjoying this playlist series, and if you're just getting around to the series, please check out the previous videos. Peaks and Valleys is pretty in depth as well. There's a full audio book of Peaks and Valleys if you want to listen through that. It's pretty short actually, but I do encourage checking out the page by page explanations, because there is just a plethora of expansion within this playlist alone, and you can reach out to me about anything, any of this regarding any of this material. I wrote it myself for you, and I'm here to assist in all possible ways that I can, but ultimately you can see this is your full responsibility and accountability, and this is designed to empower and encourage the divine faculties and technologies that's flowing through your nature of your being right now, that is universally present in attuning, metaphysically attuning to these frequencies. All right. Or spiritually attuning, mindfully, thoughtfully attuning to this level of awareness and strengthening these faculties within. And within is your boundless creative potential. That is the perpetual self-contemplation of the spirit while it's housed in this physical apparatus or this vessel that we're utilizing for a temporary time here in this construct. All right. Oh yeah, this is great. We're about 30 minutes in today, and I don't want to drag every one of these videos out. This is a great pause point, and if you made it to the end of this presentation, I appreciate you sticking around, and I hope that this gathers some good nuggets here. So again, make sure to take these notes. Reach out with any questions or concerns. Don't hesitate to holler at me. All right. Yeah, so when we come back on the next video, we'll get into chapter 2, part 2, and we're cooking. We are cooking. All right. So if you can't stand the heat, I'm just kidding. Y'all got this. Anybody that's still here, you got this. You're interested. The power is within you, and these words are, if anything, designed and formulated to raise that knowing up. Okay. Ultimately, that's your responsibility, though, or ability to respond. I'm not really doing anything. Just sharing my message and passing on through here. So, once again, thank you everybody who has stuck around. Remember, like, share, subscribe. You guys know what to do. This will tremendously help the channel grow, especially in its infancy stages. We're just getting started. Hasn't even been a year of posting videos yet, and we have a lot to unpack and a long way to go. So, thank you for being here once again, and I wish everybody, wherever you may be, the best going into its Saturn day here. So into the weekend, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Please take care in all of your endeavors. And once again, I'm grateful to have you here. So thank you. And I will see you in another video. Much love. Peace.